Hey, it's a Friday the 13th Dark Side special where I'll take a look at all sorts of knockoff toys. So grab your favourite drink and snack and get comfortable because the smashing, crashing and wrecking is about to start. The first cab off the rank is this Spongebob SquarePants Bubble Blower. It's telling me it plays music. It's got a cheeky picture of SpongeBob there. It says wow. It shows it's got 3 AA batteries in there. It's got lights as well. Let's pull it out and see what we've got. I've actually preloaded this with batteries. Come on, Sponge. You're coming to a party. And it looks like it comes with its own bubble mix as well. This Bubble Bob only cost me $10. It's loaded up and see what it does. In go the bubble mix. Okay, let me find the on switch. And it's got a very strange little sound coming out of it. And it's got some bubbles. How cute is that? I'm sort of thinking that this SpongeBob needs to meet Mr. Hammer. Well, fake SpongeBob, your party is about to end in 3, 2, 1. And you know what? Some people tell me hammers have no effect on a sponge. Well, let's quickly survey the damage. I suppose we've got a leg here. We've got the thing that blew the bubbles there, or the rings. Part of the battery compartment there, but the batteries ejected out the back there and took out the pairs Angry Birds. The main part of the body is here. We've got a ring in here. Angry Bird's ball came flying in. The blower, the actual impeller, but the blower's there, the gears. And what's really funny is every time I do these, this little moose trash pack tends to jump in the frame. How bizarre. Quite a spectacular demise. Okay, next up in this merry mix of Dark Side madness, I've got a Ben10 toy. And what's really interesting is the price tag which is on this toy. This was the last toy for sale in the shop, so I grabbed this price ticket as well. It was telling me it was $29, you might as well call it $30, and it was reduced to $10. Now you've got to ask yourself whether this toy here is worth either $29 or $10. Well, coming for a bit of unboxing, you know, there's a lot of Ben10 stuff in the Dark Side market that I go to. I should have said that actually there's a lot of SpongeBob stuff as well. I think I forgot to say that when we looked at SpongeBob. Here comes Ben10, and it looks like he's got a skateboard as well. Well, there's what came out of the box. It sort of looks impressive, but what's interesting is the artwork on the back of the box bears little relationship to what I've pulled out, except maybe for that picture there. Mind you, there's the age-old clause of specifications, colours and contents may vary from illustrations. Let's take a look at the skateboard. It's quite impressive with the artwork there. I mean, people look at the artwork and they think it's licensed. It's quite thick because there would have been a time, or there may have been a model which had a motor in here. This one doesn't. Just would have been a little spinning wheel there. Very curiously, the battery compartment has got nothing to pick up with the batteries in there. Would have had a little speaker there. Very strange. I haven't had something like this through before, where obviously it was motorised and this one's not. Maybe that's why this was only $10. Who knows? On-off switch there missing, but it's just got that real cheap and nasty Dark Side feel to it. But I reckon if I gave a bit of weight to these wheels, I'd probably just snap them off. Just like that. Welcome to the Dark Side, guys. As for the Ben10, it's quite interesting. There's a little wristband that protects the Earth, and he can turn into whatever he wants to save everyone from the monsters. It's articulated in the legs. I'm falling. The arms are only articulated on the shoulder here. It has got, looks like there's a battery's a thing here you pull out, and there's a button on his back. Is that Ben10 sounds? I'm not that familiar with Ben10. You guys can tell me. You know, it does feel very cheap and dark-sidey. And the funny thing is, the real Ben10 toys aren't that expensive. So, I just don't understand how this Dark Side stuff gets away with it. Look, it does the splits. Hey, karate, Ben10, cha! Let's just see how strong this is. Let me try and do a bit of arm ripping here. Pull the arm. Oh, Dark Side. Hello, Mr. Dark Side. About these legs. Can we give the legs something special? Oh, oh. Well, that's one way of departing with your body. Well, you've lost your wristband, Mr. Ben10. No one's going to save you now. Let's take a look inside this puppy. See how it works. Oh, look at that. It's scary. It's like something from a scary science fiction. The robots are still alive, even though they're dead. Dora the Explorer. You want to talk about one of the biggies in the toy industry? It's this one, and it's well represented in the dark side knockoff realm. I paid $19 for this set of 5 Dora the Explorers. And as always, the box artwork is there to deceive you and drag you in. And I'm pretty sure that what we're going to find inside this box is low-end rubbish. Well, I'll come in and do an unboxing of these Doras. It says in the box here, Fairy Tale Adventure, Dora's double-length Fairy Tale Journey. I don't know whether that's related to something real in the Dora universe. Because I'm not, obviously I'm not a person who watches Dora. If I did, there'd be huge problems, wouldn't there? Oh. Well, there are the dolls. And before I rip the Doras out of this box, just take a look at the work in the box artwork here. It's one of the things about the knockoff stuff. There's a lot of work put into presentation and very little work put into quality toys. Well, here are our Doras. Some have got plastic molded hair. Some have got like hair. The one in the middle is a bit of both. Those N2 look like they've got hair. Well, let me grab this one in the middle of it. Looks like a traditional dancing sort of Dora. I mean, it's a bit rough and ready. You can see a plastic seam there. There's a bit of articulation. It articulates in the middle. It's more like a dog toy. It's all soft, and I can imagine it would have a squeaky or something in there. It just feels like a puppy dog toy. It's all soft. I don't know how robust this is. You can easily pull it apart. Maybe you could mix and match these if you were really sort of going for it. Yep, low-end dark side Dora stuff, not pretty at all. I might go and try and do a bit of mix and matching and pull this one here. Maybe I can sit this one on this one's bottom here. Can I get it back on? Or is it going to fight me all the way? I think it's going to fight me. I think these things, they fall apart really easily, but they don't go back together that easily. It really does feel like, something you give your dog to chew on. Well, here's one of the ones with hair. It looks like the hair's been put in properly. I can't pull any tufts of hair out of this Dora. And I suppose in that hairstyle it is very Dora-ish, if that's such a word. Ooh, this one's haunted. Ooh. Maybe I should do a YouTube video, Return of the Haunted Twisted Dora. Ooh. Well, next up is a Scooby-Doo funny car. It's telling me it's got music. It's telling me it's got bump and go action and a light. Let's take a look at the box artwork here. It cost $8. There's the back box artwork there. It looks crazy. This is knockoff. Not knockoff realm, full on, I can tell you. And I've actually already batteried this beast up. Let me pull it out. Come on out, you naughty puppy dog. I mean, Scooby's expression here is just crazy. It's a very strange looking mystery machine. It's got some strange artwork. It's got a very strange thing at the back here that I just cannot work out what that is. Got like weird wheels underneath for bump and go activity. And what's weird is, remember that was $8? I could go and buy myself a real licensed mystery machine with an action figure and some goo. And I think I paid at the reject shop $10, although other stores have it for a fair bit more than that. So it has me asking the question, if I can get that for $10 versus that for $8, you got to always wonder, why would you ever touch that dark side stuff? Well, I have my bump and go circuit set up. Let me see if I can show you what Scooby-Doo does. Go, Mr. Knockoff Scooby-Doo. And rising up, whoa! 360s! Finally. And it goes off, and I'll probably go and do another one. Or probably get stuck somewhere. Gonna do another one for us? Whoa, only just. Come on, keep doing it. That's it. Good, Scooby. Scrappy Doo's all around, so it's safe to play. Push it a little bit. One more. Hey, Scooby. Do you know what it's like to be touched by a hammer? Okay, Scooby, here's a mystery you're going to have trouble solving. In 3, 2, 1. Well, Scooby, that mystery has been solved. The bad guy has been unmasked as a nasty dark side clone. Let's hope Mystery Inc. can afford a new mystery machine. You know, it's funny when I think of knockoff toys, I always think of Angry Birds as being, you know, the one that seems to be the most knocked off. And in a funny way, Angry Birds seem to let it run. These little vehicles are $5 a pop, so you're looking at $5, $10, $15, $20, $25, $30 worth of knockoff toy here. They're sort of like squishy toys where they've come along and they put an axle underneath. You know, it's like something it would have been, I don't know, a dog toy or something. It's just quite bizarre. And what these are very similar to are these wheelies toys in size and scale. If I just do that there. But I've always found that Angry Birds seems to attract some of the most unusual styles of knockoff toys. Well, in the toy realm, being knocked off sort of says you've made it. Here's a $5 pack of Monster High. It cost $19, which is about a third of the price of a real Mattel 5-pack. But I think we're going to find that these dolls inside are monsters in a very different way. Well, I come in for the grand unboxing shop, and it's interesting, there's various versions of quality of this knockoff. I have looked at some very, very low-end stuff in another video, and I've forgotten the video's name, but these do seem a little bit better in quality. Just gave me a small fright. There's a spooky spider down there. Well, there's a strange black lizard, there's a black spider there, and I'm just looking at these dolls here, and I'm not a Monster High expert, but I think that one there is Claudine Wolf, only by the fact that it's got ears and the darker skin. I'm only assuming that the rest of those dolls there are rip-offs of characters in Monster High. Just looking at that middle girl there, who I think is Claudine Wolf. I've actually got one in box. I found in my garage here. Don't ask me what I'm doing with Monster High in the garage. There's a real McCoy one. Versus the nasty Darkside knockoff clone. I just ran inside and I grabbed this real McCoy Monster High doll. It's one of my daughters. It's had a lot of play. Hair's in a mess. And the thing that I think distinguishes a Monster High doll is it's got some fantastic articulation. They're always very tall. They're very long-legged. I'm missing the shoes here on this one. Normally they've got shoes. And they've always got well-designed little dresses and stuff, although bum's showing there. If we bring up one of these knockoff ones, and then, like I said, this is one of the better versions. There's much, much worse versions of this. This is actually what I call the high-end knockoff, if that's such a thing to say. What you'll start to see with this is, you know, I think they've put a lot of energy into the look here of the face, but it's when you start to analyse the rest of it, it's when the story starts to fall apart. You'll find that the dressmaking on this doll and the articulation isn't there, of course. It's nowhere near as good as the real Monster High doll, but just the dress is a real letdown. And none of those dolls came with shoes or accessories, and when you buy a Monster High doll, you tend to get a whole bunch of other stuff with them. But I don't know, it's weird. Like I said, maybe people like this stuff, this knockoff stuff. The Monster High dolls are hyper popular. Be interesting to see what you think of this one here, these knockoffs. You know, the more I scrutinise this, the more I see wrong with it. They've only done a partial hair thing on this. It's bald on the back. Looks like some sort of strange disease has got this one, and they're all like that. I've actually looked at all of them. And when you go down and you look at the costume, I mean, this is the rear of that doll, and look at this seam here, or the way it's been done. It's just, you know, I reckon I could just pull that off. The stitching is really poorly done, and that's the letdown of this knockoff stuff. It's all fancy boxed up and everything, but when you come and scrutinise what's inside the box, it's always going to be disappointing. And you know, if you bought this for your children, all that's going to happen is they're going to be disappointed, and you're cheating yourself ever buying this stuff. And it's funny, look at this, the leg's already off. Welcome to the dark side yet again. Yeah, legs off. I mean, it's just rubbish. You shouldn't ever go near this stuff. Yet I see a lot of people buy this stuff. Oh, the way the legs. Oh, there you go. It's broken. It's just rubbish. Don't touch it, guys. And that seems to be fairly robust, that bit there. I'm having trouble pulling. Oh no, I've got it. A bit just waned off past my ear. Yeah, look, it's not even. Yeah, it's so easy to break apart. Probably rip the head off too. There you go. It just pops off. So this is now one bodiless Darkside Monster High doll. Boo! And that's what I call spooky. Ooh. In the wings, I've got a lot of My Little Pony knockoff Dark Side stuff, and I'll put that up as a separate video. But it's sort of curious because you've got to ask yourself, well, when does it become a knockoff and when does it become just a pony which looks like a knockoff? Well, the Dark Side realm loves to hop onto something that's very popular. Here's a very, very nasty Avengers pack. I've got the Hulk, Spiderman, Iron Man and Captain America. Let me just show you the back box artwork here. And as always, it's the box artwork that's trying to lure you in. And I paid $15, and I tell you what, I bet you it's going to be rubbish when we get inside this thing. Let me just get in. I'm not going to spend much time on this one, because I know it's going to be utter rubbish. Here they come. Who's going to save me from this Dark Side nonsense? Well, here's Iron Man first, and there's no movement on the legs. His arms move. It just feels so cheap and nasty. I mean, just it's sad I can't get that feeling to come across over YouTube. All you can do is look at it. It's got a little button on the back here. I think if I push that button, there's a light in the middle there. Just there, looks like a little red LED or something. I don't know. Just very, very nasty. And I just know it's going to be weak too. Oh, look at that. Oops, sorry about that. You need a superhero to save you from that. Let's look at Spider-Man. I mean, he's hyper popular, isn't he? He's popular when I was a child. He still is today. He just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. How could you go wrong? Again, he's got a little button there. Look at that. Ooh, spider leather. I bet you this one breaks easy too. Yep, Spidey's gone. Who's next? The Incredible Hulk. Look at that. It's just hollow. Look at that. It's hollow in there. $15 for this rubbish. And like I said, people buy this. That's the most astonishing thing. It's like, you know, what's that saying about the person buying this for their children? I bet you this guy breaks too. Oh, ew, oh, he's not looking so incredible now, is he? Look at that. Bet you've never seen that before. A legless and armless Hulk. Well, you have now. Okay, last guy, Captain America. And he's got a shield, and the weird thing about his shield is there's nowhere to put it. I think he just throws it, doesn't he? Well, he's thrown it and it's gone away. Yeah. I know you probably got a few things to say about these. He's got a button too. What coloured light does he have? Is it red? Looks like red, doesn't it? With respect to my American fans, I will not break Captain America up because I know there's a lot of people who like him. And while we're thinking superheroes, I did come across these quite large figures. There's Spider-Man, there's Superman, and there's Batman. I was going to show you one thing on these, which is very, very funny. These stand at 16 inches tall. They cost $15 each. Each one of them does have an LED light feature inside, but none of them are working. How about that for a bit of Dark Side madness? I don't know if you've seen what's funny about these. Have you noticed it yet? There's a couple of things funny. I think, look at Superman's face, number one. I mean, this is more like stuff you put out for Halloween decorations. But if we go back, can you see the funny bit yet? Do you want me to point it out for you? I just saw something very kooky with Batman here. Look at those eyes. But what's even funnier, if we creep down to the hands, look at that. They're all like Spider-Man. Or maybe these guys are into a secret cult that we know nothing about. I'm a bit slow today. I've just worked out these guys have got a battery compartment. Let's throw some batteries in and see what happens. Oh, it's got a light on the front there. It's got a horrid sound chip. Oh, I've heard enough of that, I think. Bye, guys. And you know what? If I come in and just manipulate this a bit, look at that. I mean, come on. Look, it's just literally very little effort to pull this apart. It is just such rubbish. It is not funny. What a joke. You know, the only bit I like are these heads. That's the bit I'm keeping. Come on, Batman. I want your head as well. Head's where it's at with these guys. You know, it is amazing what you see getting knocked off. This is obviously a rip-off of the Creo sets that were based around Transformers, and that's a hyper-popular franchise. This cost me $15. And there was a whole number of characters to get in this series. Let me turn this around. The real Creo sets were actually very, very good. I did buy one of them. I reviewed one of them. And it was a fantastic brick building toy. There's the series down there. Just tracking along slowly so you can see it. And next I will open up the box. And I'm pretty sure that's going to reveal the dark side to you. I think what's really important to point out here, this is quite a large box. I paid $15 for it, but let's take a look at inside and see what comes out of this fairly large box. I see a problem there. So down here I've got 3 bags of bricks, some instructions, and I think an example of some of the worst box bloat that I've ever seen. It says Legal as the brick company here, but I just quickly looked through this instruction manual, and what's funny is when you look at this, all the pictures are blurred. I don't know, it's like a copy of a copy of a copy. I suppose at least it's in colour. What I'm going to do is I will send this set over to the Beanmeister. I'm pretty sure he's done one of these sets, and I'd like him to make this and talk about it, because I'm pretty sure he'll have a far better appraisal of this than I will. I'm pretty sure that those few bricks there are not going to make something as impressive as what came out of the real Creo Transformers sets. Well, the Dark Side knockoff realm is very opportunistic. They love to hop onto themes, which are basically things that children like. And it's curious, I showed this Monopoly set, which is a Thomas & Friends theme, and people saw this a while back and they said, oh, it can't be a knockoff, Leo, because it's a Monopoly game. Well, it is a knockoff. There's no licensing info back to the toy company that looks after Monopoly or the people who look after Thomas & Friends. And what is very curious, I came across this Monopoly set down at my local $2 shop. It was $12.95, call it $13. And you've got to wonder, you know, why would you knock this toy off? It's not really a children's game. The price that it's set at is actually exactly half of what I could buy down at Kmart. So let's open up this box and see what you get for basically $13. And before I open up this knockoff Monopoly set, there's absolutely no licensing info to the companies who have looked after Monopoly. And, you know, in a funny way, this Monopoly game is why knockoff stuff is done, and it's all about money. It's all about, you know, deception, money, greed. It's basically a crime. I wonder who's going to be going to the go to jail section in this set. Let's take a look inside. Okay, the first thing I'll say, there was quite a strange odour that came up out of this box when I opened it. Very, very strange. There's little houses and the dice. There's the money, which doesn't look right. I know if someone's out there familiar with today's Monopoly game, there's the little critters that you play with. There's the cards. Normally, aren't they? It looks like you got to separate those yourself. It's looking very cheap, isn't it? There's more of those. The board game. It's underneath here. Struggling a bit. It's so flimsy. It's just rubbish. I mean, this is embarrassing. And this is down at my local $2 shop. It is totally embarrassing. What is sort of curious here is the way they've spelt Monopoly in here. Is this a different language, or is this some sort of legal cheat? Maybe you guys can tell me. I mean, the whole thing, it just reeks dark side in the most sinister way. And it's all about deception, isn't it? A lot of people could possibly buy this on the look of the outside of the box and not realise that it is a knockoff set until you open it up. I mean, once you open this up and you start to see, there's the money. It's very, very faintly printed. And, you know, give me a break. This is horrid. Here come all little houses and things. And here come all little guys that you play with. And here's a bit of a look at all the little things that you used to identify yourself when you're playing the game. It's bringing back some memories. I think this is all based on the, what do you call it, the old classic game. There's the famous hat, the boot, and I think there's the dog. And I should show you the notes. I'm not familiar with Monopoly of today. I don't have a modern set. Maybe if you're out there and you know this game and how it's represented today, maybe you can have a few words to say what you see in what I've got versus what you've got. I mean, I just feel like smacking this all back in the box and shoving it back down to the guy that sold it to me, because it's just so wrong. So there's reality of what came out of this box, and I'll bring the box in. And I think the question you've got to ask yourself is, how many people get fooled by this style of knockoff? Hey, do you remember this really rough Lightning McQueen in the Cars Dark Side video I did? I'm going to give it a few gentle taps of a hammer just to see if it survives. Okay, McQueen, this is a race you probably will not win. In 3, 2, 1. Well, there's another dark side off the planet, and I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, thank you for watching, and bye for now.